I have friends who are aristocrats, I have friends who are upper class, I have friends who are, working class, but I'm not working class. Fantastic. Now, you've been here before, have you?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place, isn't it?
It is.
It's a superb job. Right, that's that. That's some cutlery. Let me get. We'd like to
What are you calling me out?
Well, that is exactly what I'm trying to do. Exactly what I'm trying to do.
There's the business.
What do you have? Do you work in a business? Do you want some fruit?
No, I'm homeless. I'm actually a homeless person at the minute, but I'm interested in business.
Yeah,
So
what kind of business?
I like finance. It's good for the city, and when finance and stuff's doing well, we'll do well in London. So
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So I used to work in finance, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's investment bank.
Yeah, well, I did lots of different things, but you're right. Because I think the good thing now is it's not just London. If you look at all the jobs in finance around the UK, the majority of them are outside of London now.
Yeah.
So it's spread across the UK.
The law and the associated.
Yeah. Is that something you'd like to get into?
I wouldn't mind. But I don't know. I'd like to get through Christmas first.
Yeah. What's the plan? What are you doing this weekend?
No idea. I'm hoping that the St Mungo's can help me get into some temporary accommodation, so I'm not on the street.
So that's the plan. And then you're going to get some advice here about that. Earn this today, I hope. Hi. How are you, Billy? Right? Is that right?
I'm Billy.
Perfect. So I've got the petrolman and the
Number three.
number 3 should be 30 quid and a penny.
Yes, and it's all together.
Yeah, all together.
One scan now for me.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, you want those? Yeah.
We can get you with the back. That's that one. And that one. That comes to 31.61.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
You pay by card.
There we go.
Right, tap away.
I managed to start changing the funding formulas to make sure that areas like this are getting the funding that they deserve. Because we inherited a bunch of formulas from the Labour Party that shoved all the funding into deprived urban areas. Then that needed to be undone. I started the work of undoing that.
I was there at about, I think, 7:45 in the morning, or 7:30. So it was not a burger and nuggets. So I got
Sausage
breakfast.
McMuffin?
No, so I get bacon roll with ketchup and the pancakes.
Hash
Oh!
brown, no hash
No,
brown.
so I didn't yesterday. But if I'm with my daughters, then we get the wrap.
Oh, the girls like the
my
wrap.
eldest daughter we get the wraps. If I'm with her, that wrap with the hash brown and everything in it is what we do.
Girl
But
after my own heart.
yeah. That I mean, she's.
Jets, let me just ask you finally before you go, how are you getting up here to make this green announcement today? Private jet?
I'll be flying as I normally would, and that is the most efficient use of my time. But again, I think actually that question brings to life a great debate here. If you or others think that the answer to climate change is getting people to ban everything that they're doing, to stop people flying, to stop people going on holiday, I mean, I think that's absolutely the wrong approach. Right, that's absolutely the wrong approach. I mean, every Prime Minister before me has also used planes to travel around the United Kingdom because it's an efficient use of time for the person running the country, so I can keep focusing on delivering for people. But if your approach to climate change is to say no one should go on holiday, no one should take on a plane, I think you are completely and utterly wrong.
Am I?
Right, that is absolutely not the approach to tackling climate change.
There's a difference between travelling by private jet and taking a flight.
What we are doing is investing in sustainable aviation fuel as one of the new technologies like carbon capture and storage will help us make the transition. It's not about banning flying. It's about investing in new technologies like sustainable aviation fuel that will make flying more sustainable. That's the right approach to this. But I look forward to having that conversation with you again. Thanks very much for having me.
We have to let you go. Will you commit to coming back on and speaking to us longer in future?
I think this is the second time I've been on your show in the short space of time I've been Prime Minister, but I'm sure I'll be there again in the future.
Our audience know you've had to clarify your wife's non-dom status. You held permanent residency in the United States while you were setting the taxes of British voters, which is what a green card means. You're building a swimming pool at your constituency home while the public pool in Richmond is facing closure after a 400% energy hike. This has all led to a perception problem for you. People feel that you can't walk a mile in their shoes because you're walking in your Prada shoes. What would you say to them?
Over the past couple of weeks, right, I've been out and about across the country talking to members of the public, and as I was saying, lots of people have come to talk to me about that press conference and furlough and what difference it made to their lives. Do you know, I was wearing the same suit in that press conference, the same shoes as that I'm wearing now, right? I'm the same person.
How much were they worth?
Yeah,
They're very slick.
Prime Minister, I saw that you flew to Blackpool Airport today on a private jet instead of travelling by train, obviously when there's a climate emergency and using taxpayers' money. I was just wondering, since you found Blackpool Airport so useful to arrive here today and access this part of the northwest, why can't we have the money for it to be reopened for commercial use?
Right, so, I travel around so I can do lots of things in one day. I'm not travelling around just for my own enjoyment, although this is very enjoyable, of course, right? I'm travelling around so I can talk to people in Accrington this morning, then I can talk to you, and then I'm going to get over to Hartlepool because I'm working on all of your behalf, right?
Coke or Pepsi?
Do you ask everyone this question, or not? No, it's funny because I'm a massive. So one of these things that not that many people know about me. So I collect Coca-Cola things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm a Coke addict, total Coke addict, Coca-Cola addict.
Yes,
Just for the record,
I was going to say.
just for the record, just be totally clear. I am a Coca-Cola addict. I have 7 fillings to show for it. Yes, exactly. I'm getting in trouble, but no. So I generally do have 7 fillings because I got through a lot of the stuff when I was young, which is very bad. So people should don't do that. But I now have one a week. I'm only allowed one a week now.
So,
but I'm an enormous Coca-Cola fan. Coke. Yes, I won't drink no Diet Coke, no Coke Zero, never any Pepsi. And actually, my favourite drink is not even Coke. It's called Mexican Coke.
One of my New Year's promises to you was to grow the economy, and today we're announcing the second round of allocations from our Levelling Up Fund, and that's about investing in local areas in order to create jobs and help deliver on that promise to boost.
Do you understand why people looking at their mortgage bills, looking at their shopping bill, worrying about keeping a roof over their heads, are going to listen to you and think, it's not going to be okay for me? Doesn't it sound to many people, or might it risk sounding like you're in some kind of parallel universe where the NHS is getting better and the economy is going to be okay? That's not the experience of millions of people right now.
I've never said that it's not challenging. I've never said that this isn't going to be a difficult time to get through, but what I want to give people the reassurance and confidence is that we've got a plan, the plan will work, and we will get through this. That's exactly what people should be hearing from their Prime Minister and their government, particularly from me, given that this particular issue is one that I've talked about for a while. I deliberately made it the first of my 5 priorities, so no one can say this is not something that I'm not aware of, not on top of, and people should have the reassurance that the plans that we've got are the right ones, because they will bring inflation down over time, and they will provide support for the people who most need it as we go through this difficult period.
I've been encouraged to invest in bricks and mortar and become homeowners. But when my current 2-year fixed rate expires at the end of this year, my new fixed rate will go up from £1,500 a month to £2,800 a month. As someone who works 7 days a week and has paid into the tax system since I left school without claiming a penny back from it, why do I feel like I'm being unfairly punished? And what can you do to help me?
Jack, thanks for calling. And it's a great question to start with, right? Because your situation is being faced by many across the country, and I'm incredibly sympathetic about it. I know you'll be anxious about what's going to happen to your mortgage when it comes up for repricing, and we're taking practical action that will help you and many others. So let me just tell you what you can do in the short term, and then I'll take a step back and tell you more broadly how we're going to help. Look, in the short term, for you or anyone else who's worried about this, you should talk to your bank, and what we've agreed is a mortgage charter with the lending industry. So you can talk to your bank and you can do a couple of things with them. You could extend the term of your mortgage by, say, 5 or 10 years, or you could switch to an interest-only mortgage. Now, it sounds like from your payments that you've got a particularly large mortgage. So a typical payment for someone in the country is about £800, but that would go up to about £1,000 a month at the current rates. But if you do one of the 2 things that I mentioned, which you can do with your bank at no change to your credit rating, that will save you hundreds of pounds a month on your mortgage payment. So it's very practical help for millions of families across the country
let's get
in
Jack
the short
back in.
term.
Jack, how does that sound to you, Jack?
It sounds like I'm probably going to be, I'm already on a 35-year term, and that £2,800 was extending that term to 37 years. Now, bearing in mind I'm in my early 30s, I don't really want to be paying it off until I'm in the grave. So it's something to think about. It's something to think about.
Yeah, we could see another interest rate tomorrow, Prime Minister. It is widely predicted to go up 14th month in a row.
As I said, look, and Jack, I said, please do talk to your bank, because as I said, everyone's situation is going to be slightly different. But a typical mortgage in the UK, right, for your listeners, as I said, typical mortgage
people have about 17 years outstanding on it. So you can extend it by 5 or 10 years. It will save you hundreds of pounds. But look, Jack, the best way for me to help you, your family, and everyone else is to bring inflation down.